Alright guys, welcome to Behind the Mic, episode 10. This right here will conclude season 1 of Behind the Mic. But today, we have a very special guest. We're on location at Infinity Recordings. So give a round of applause to our guest, Half Breed.
Hi.
It's been a long day. But basically, I wanted to come to the studio, show what Breed really does. Because what a lot of people don't realize is he's helped the scene so much with just from recording to even now mixing and mastering people's tracks, from now being a photographer, now being a videographer, a jack of all trades. And sometimes, we don't always get the credit we should. So this episode is about giving that credit where credit is due. So Half Breed, tell us,
appreciate it.
How obviously music got you into everything that you do now. Mm-hmm. How did you start? How did you start dabbling with music, basically?
Listening to, it goes back to when being a little kid, 8, 9 years old, listening to old rap stuff that was on the radio and, making little mixtapes, and then just going to sleep, laying there in bed, listening to these songs over and over and over and over, and just, rapping them along with them, pretending that was me that was rapping, envisioning me on stage doing that kind of thing. And it's just kind of always been a thing since I was a kid. And then around high school, you start seeing other people freestyling around, stuff like that. You're like, man, I want to do that. They're owning these people. You got all these crowds of people gathered around to watch you know what I mean? Yeah. And that's dope. You could entertain, you can pass a message, you can get across a lot through music.
Yeah.
So that's...
How old were you when you did your first freestyle? Do you give it?
First freestyle? I mean, we're freestyling with friends with old, karaoke machines, making little dumb tapes and stuff. And my phone go off. Freestyling with, karaoke machines and stuff, and, just making dumb little mixtapes, freestyles. I still got some old tapes in the crate somewhere. But as far as, wanting to perform and do shows, I was just trying to find out where it was possible, because when I started, there wasn't venues, there was nobody doing hip-hop shows. It was very rare. There was 3 or 4 out of a year, that you could maybe see if you knew who was on it or part of it to try to get on, stuff like that.
Now I remember everybody talking about the Roadhouse and whatnot. Was when the Roadhouse was on and popping here in the scene. Was that before that time where you were just starting to look?
Yeah, Roadhouse was after a few years. I'd already done promotions and stuff on my own and thrown shows at other venues. Mm-hmm. Roadhouse just popped up just because the feeling, everything was right.
Yeah.
It was a good place for everybody to mature and develop as far as artists. But yeah, I remember doing teen night freestyle contests, freestyle battle contests. No one had done one yet, and I was doing them strictly for teens,
nice.
At clubs, they wouldn't be open on a certain night. So I said, okay, we're gonna take over, do teen night, and let's go to the high schools and see if we can find any freestylers that just want to battle. And we were doing stuff like that, early on.
So you were getting your taste of promotions at the time, then, I guess.
Yeah.
Kind of not really trying to be in that realm, but you were in that realm, I guess.
Yeah, it's creating, make your own tools. If you don't have them, make them. That's why I have a studio now. It's I didn't have anybody until you came along really doing my videos.
Yeah.
So I was I could do videos. Editing software is a lot easier nowadays, and
technology is advanced.
Yeah, you can make a whole movie on your phone now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
now, when I first heard of you, I think that was Southern Made Records, I believe.
Oh, okay. That was 2006.
Was it?
Yeah, that's when I started with them.
Okay.
2006.
Okay, because I remember the little studio across the street there on Dixie.
2007, something like that.
It's been a minute then. I didn't realize that. I remember that. I don't remember the timeline though, because I knew about you then, but I never had met you or anything. But then I had met you, but not really. We didn't build this friendship we have now when you were working at Urban Lifestyles as well.
Yeah, that came
Was
after
that about
Southern
the
Made.
same?
So it went Southern Made and then the Urban Lifestyles
Okay.
phase. There's like different phases that it
Okay.
all went through.
Because I remember going in and you know I'd buy CDs and DVDs there. But a couple of times I think I had my friend LC there recording you. You were there recording him at the studio. That's when you had the booth right there. Right when you walk in, the booth was right there. I think to the right or something.
So,
you know?
yeah, I was like, yeah, it used to be in the very back.
Yeah, and then we brought it out front.
Yeah.
Or whatever, you know, and even then, we crossed paths, but we still hadn't built that friendship or anything like that. Then fast forward, I think it was shortly after probably the 2009 show, Dollar Show, and Gorilla Zoe show. Somehow,
Yeah, see, that's
after that. I think we crossed paths and actually started kind of just.
Yeah, it was around. It was the Fame ENT, like back when we were doing all that stuff, and Famous was out here doing promotions and stuff.
Yeah.
That I think you were on a couple of those shows, and that's how I started meeting you there.
Yeah, and I wasn't even all the way serious yet, but I was trying to get there, and I think they're slowly after. I don't know. It's just so crazy. It just seems like things happen so fast, and we're here now. You know.
Man, it's been some time.
I remember from the MySpace days too. You were one of the few that had top quality videos. Granted, you had to bring someone down to shoot your videos. You had Living in the South.
Living for the South. Yeah.
Living for the South. Sorry, Living for the South, and then there was another song you did with Magno, right?
That was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you had.
That was my first video.
You had the performance and. Okay, so the video had the performance and actually on location, right? Or was it
that first video we did, because that was at the time when I was there was a club out north, Area 385.
Yes, 385.
And yeah, I was the host of that club, and it was like the biggest thing out here. Like there was a line around the block to get into that spot.
Yeah.
And I brought Magno.
It was after hours club, I think, right?
Yeah, it stayed open until like 4 a.m.
Yeah. You know, when you shot that video, MySpace got to see kind of the behind the scenes kind of thing a little bit, you know, because everyone posting pictures and just talking about the video in general. You know, what was working and seeing behind the scenes of that video. I mean, it seemed like what a video should be like. You know, I mean, you had your lights. I mean, you had everything you needed. You know, how was that experience for you?
It was a lot of planning that went into that video. You know, shout out my homeboy Pinky. He did a lot of like location scouting for me and found some of the dopest like spots that are in that video. And then just storyboarding everything out. You know, I never done nothing like that before.
Yeah.
But you know, it's kind of like telling a story in a sort of way.
Yeah.
So.
Thinking back now, doing that video and doing your videos now, you see how important it is to plan. You know.
Yeah. You can definitely see videos that are just like we just show up and shoot, versus a video that's has a thought behind it.
Yeah, because that's always been. I mean, I've always stressed that enough. You know, we got a plan. We got a plan. You know, even if you got like a skeleton. You know. And,
yeah. I mean,
and that some kind of plan is better than no plan, and the video comes out dope.
Yeah.
You know. Now. On to your next videos. I know that the other videos besides that, you had the one with I forget his name, the one with Carolyn and
I Rep My Streets.
I Rep My Streets. There you go.
Yeah.
You know, I got to shoot that video. It got edited by Recluse. You know, that video was your second video, correct?
Yeah, I mean it was a collaboration thing, but everybody used it for their stuff. So of course I had it, and I took ownership as well. You know.
Yeah, and I got that. That's when I started to get more involved with trying to help you guys and try to do stuff, and even that experience was just kind of nice, because one thing about a lot of videos is you got to have people wanting to support and show out to your video shoot, and you guys had that, and that was dope because that just made shooting the video that much more easier. You guys had the cars. You guys had all the extras. Just literally. I remember the scene when we were down in the south side. I want to say maybe Monahan Street or something like that. I'm not sure what street it was, but everyone just walking down the street while you guys are rapping the song and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
That was one thing that you've always had, that I've noticed. You've always had the support the local support from your fans here, and that was always nice and a blessing to see, because not everyone gets that.
No, they
And,
don't. They really don't.
For you to been doing this as long as that you have, I mean, it speaks volumes. You know, you've already rocked a lot of shows. You've hosted. You're a hell of a host. I mean, it's one of those things that, to me, hosting, you either got it or you don't. And you've been pulled in short notice. Be like, hey, we need you to be the host, and
I was just there to have fun.
Yeah, you're there to have fun, or maybe just perform whatever, and you end up hosting, and it's like you were the one supposed to host the shows,
And it'd be on some big shows too, like some big name, like grade A acts come to Dos Amigos, and I'd just be there. They'd like get on the mic,
because you had the Roadhouse, you had Dos Amigos, then we had all the little venues that we've had around here. A lot of them come and go. What is it? Bob's Billards.
Been Outer Limits.
Outer Limits. Fusion.
Yeah.
What's it? Now, of course,
more recent. Now it's the club.
Way Out West, and now the club. The club, is the one. It's just been one of those things. Over the years, it feels like, just from my perspective, it feels like it's been a battle with just trying to keep a venue consistent, or just being able to do rap shows all the time. It just feels like it's been a battle. Right now we have the club, but I mean, it's a matter of time before we have to move on to another club. It's just like a trend or something. I don't know what.
It's just bar life, They go up, they go down. They're all roller coasters.
Yeah. Now, having rock shows, having collaborated with a lot of the locals here, even collaborated with a lot of Texas legends. What's been your favorite experience or just moment that you've had just working? It could be anything,
The most exciting?
Yeah, most exciting, just you felt like you, I don't know, just...
Like a king at that moment kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess, like...
It was back in the Southern Made days, I would say. There's this one moment that was like a peak. It was like back in the Southern Made days when we were doing shows at Dos Amigos, and they were bringing first it was Chamillionaire, and then it was Paul Wall, and then it was Bone Thugs, and it was like they were just a couple of weeks separation, but the crowd just kept getting bigger and bigger. And this is back 2006 when Texas was on top. Chamillionaire, Riding Dirty was the #1 song on the radio at the time, and he was here on stage and doing it up, and then, we got to do all those shows, but I can't say which of those 3 shows it was, but there was a moment because we had our set with Southern Made, and we had this one song with everybody on, but I got a really hot moment on my verse where the beat would just drop and I would spit like 8 bars a cappella, and I remember I just owned a crowd of over 3,000 people. They were just a sea of people, and I remember literally I just was going and going, and everybody just like, I looked out at the crowd, I saw jaws drop, and I would just keep on going, and then right when I hit with my last bar, the beat dropped, and you just saw that whole crowd went, oh, and it was just like the greatest feeling. This is what big artists probably feel on a regular, but for me that was that one time that just, man,
do we have this on film? Do you know?
I wish. I don't know. I've never seen it.
Okay.
It's in my head.
Yeah,
it happened.
I'm just
I
curious,
promise it happened.
I'm just curious because I know I've got to sort through some of your footage, and I'm like, dude, you got a bunch of shit here, like a lot of footage, and I have not even got to look through all of it.
Yeah.
That's why I'm just like, man, that's got to be a great feeling. Hell, being on stage is a great feeling, and you've got to rock so many of them. You've got to do what other locals haven't done. You've traveled. You've done little mini tours. You've done out of state. I think you guys have done New Mexico and
I've done a couple different states, and
a couple different states.
Gone to seminars and panels and stuff like that. Just learning about music.
How's that in your perspective? How's the love been when you're outside of your local area?
Oh yeah, it's pretty good. You always get a lot more love because people, if they're into the hip hop and they know you came from somewhere, they do show more love outside of your own city. That's just a natural thing, I think.
Yeah, I've performed just a couple of times, and I haven't performed as much as I'd like to, out of town, and that's just something that, man, I commend you on being able to do that and just do what you do, man. I mean, every time I've seen you perform, you rock the stage. Hell, if I'm rocking the stage with you, even some of our new collaborations, it's, I'm able to feed off your energy, and that's You know,
Yeah.
if I see it like if I'm able to feed off your energy while I'm on stage right next to you, you know, I can only imagine what the crowd is like feeling. You know, especially because
You would hope.
you know,
you would hope.
and most of the time, you know,
I've done shows where I'm rapping in front of 3 people sitting in front of a table and they're just sipping their drink, just looking at me
Yeah.
like I'm crazy. I've been there. I've seen both sides. So.
yeah, I've done that at an art gallery, and that was awkward.
It's very awkward. Yeah.
But you know, you try your best to work through it, you know. But you always come back to something where you got the crowd that you want, you know. So
Yeah.
it's always gonna, you know, the crowd's always gonna be there at some point or not, you know. Now we're sitting here in your studio. Studio's name Infinity Recording.
Infinity Recordings.
You've been recording for a long minute, you know. You're one of the few that knows what they're doing, not only on the recording side, but even on the mixing and mastering side. You know, how did you get started doing that? Like starting just recording people,
needing your own tools. It all started everything. It's all like I don't have the money to go and pay such and such to record, and I was like, well, this one guy was recording me, Ray Hudgens, and he recorded like my first ever like solo album, and it was all original. I made all the beats. I made, you know, everything to it. I was all completely, you know, that was early, like 99, 2000, like fresh out of high school stuff.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've developed way more since then. But he would record on some old programs, and I kind of watch and get an understanding of how that all worked, and, you know, get the software for myself and just start learning, you know, watching videos on it. And, you know, you get better with practice. You start fidgeting with more little dials and little buttons and little inputs, and you kind of figure things out for yourself. And, you know, I never had any formal training as far as, you know, producing music.
Yeah.
It's all self-taught, like, you
Yeah.
know, but.
I mean, that's like a lot of us here, you know. I mean, you know.
Timbaland's that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And he makes some of the dopest beats, and
Yeah.
he can't actually read sheet music or anything.
Yeah. And a lot of times that ear, trust your ear and trust what sounds good. If it doesn't sound good, you're not gonna like it, obviously, you know. So yeah, that's a good tool, you know. Just taking that leap and trying to do stuff for yourself, and now, fast forward to today, got a lot of people coming to the studio, man. I mean, every time I come, there's someone either new or someone regular, you know, one of your regulars, and
Yeah.
and it's you know, besides the recording, I mean, you started podcasting around here. You're the first person that I know of that started podcasting for the music
For
scene.
the music, yeah.
For the
There's
music
some
scene.
other podcasts that were, you know, nerd pop culture stuff like that,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, as far as for hip hop, you know, out here for West Texas, yeah. I
And
think
what's the
I
name
am
of that
the
show?
first.
The name of the show was Infinity Radio, correct?
Infinity Radio.
I'll just tie into everything you heard. You Infinity.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
you know, for the ones that don't know, where does the infinity come from? You know, because that's, to me, that's a pretty, you know, a little tidbit information to kind of know, you know.
Yeah, if you know me, you know I love comic books, and
Yeah.
Thanos
Yes, sir.
was the big villain on the new Avengers movie coming up.
Yeah.
And you know, back when I was a kid, I read the Infinity Gauntlet, you know, and it was like this one dude just smashing he killed every single hero. And I'd never seen a comic book where every single hero had ever came together, like they're all teaming
Yeah.
up, and this one dude's just bitch slapping him. I was like, this dude Rex, and he was just a dope character, and that whole Infinity thing, and it goes beyond Infinity too, because Infinity is like, it means forever,
Yeah.
and you know, it's everlasting, and I hope that, you know, when I die, I do leave some kind of legacy. My name is kind of remembered somewhere, somehow, and it's etched in stone. Whether it's just on a YouTube video that sits, you know,
Yeah.
to the end of time. But, you know, I want shit to last and have, you know, a meaning and go beyond, you know, just everyday shit.
Yeah, and I'm sure it will. You know, the one thing with the whole infinity thing, you know, and the way you just described that, I mean, in the
Forever,
sense
everlasting.
I mean, even just crushing the competition, you know. I mean, I know you're a humble dude, but I'm gonna call it out here and just stick to the facts that I've seen it myself. I mean, you have killed the competition around here. You know, you rocked the stage. There's a lot of good people, a lot of good artists around here, but you've been one of the few that has stayed consistent for so many years. I mean, it's been already over a decade, you know, that you've been rocking and doing this music and dropping projects and doing a lot of collaborations. You know, one thing that I've noticed is anytime you collaborate with anybody, you're collaborating and treating it like it's your own song, and you come with it, you know. And that's a rare instance with anybody sometimes, because sometimes people just jump on other people's tracks just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
They don't come full throttle unless it's their own project. When you come full throttle, whether it's your project or not, because I mean, you know, at the end of the day, it's a representation of you and your ability, and you know, you've always seemed to amaze me in the sense of, you know, you kill every track. You have a unique way of even preparing to write for a track, you know.
Well, I like to be in, like, if I'm gonna do a song with somebody, I want to be there with the person. I want to vibe with them, catch, you know, throw ideas right there on the spot. Like, you know, I've done features where it's just an emailed beat and then I send back the vocals, you know, whatever. I'll just, you know, try to kill it as best as I can, you know. And, but yeah, I prefer that kind of work, is like working with somebody in person.
I mean, I feel like I mean, it's even with me. I mean, it's brought the best out of me. You know, when we've worked together. You know, I mean, you know, that's just vibing in the studio is a lot better, you know, than just the whole emailing thing, because you're not feeding off each other. You're not feeding off each other's energy. It's all, you know, you hold your own, I hold my own kind of thing, and that's really it. You know.
Yeah.
But the best songs I've seen, you know, I mean, man, you know, been in the studio together and wrecked it. You know, and it's always been very enjoyable to, you know, from start to finish, to get something going. You know, even, our track, the track that we have a track called Riding Through the City, which is probably my all-time favorite track we've done together. And funny thing about that, we recorded that to a different beat, got a different beat made to it after we had recorded, and then we're like, oh shit, this fucking shit sounds badass, you know. Shout out Low Life, you know, always, you know, never, you know, disappoints with the beat. Super producer indeed, you know, and it's just it's amazing, man. The things that we can come up with. Technology is just so at a point that we can do whatever really we want.
Create.
You know, and now you're I mean, doing a video podcast. You've shot a couple of videos. You know, I mean, that's you've continued to grow from just the music to into something else, and I mean, it's just one of those things. It's nice to see, you know, my people grow and continue to grow. You know, like I feel confident in letting you shoot one of my videos. You know, if it comes down to it. You know, and that's something. Then that's because I've seen you work and work to get better. Not
yo, what it do? It's your boy DJ Spree, man. Man, I've been fucking with Half Breed for about 15 years, and man, we've been dropping hits and doing shows and just hustling out here on the streets and shit, man, and just making a name for ourselves and shit. We got mixtapes out. We got Next Gen. He's been, you know, hosting shows while I DJ and shit, and we just a good team together and shit, man. Like, that's my boy. So, but yeah, that's about it, man. DJ Spree and Half Breed, man. Look out for us, man, and check us out on Facebook, man. Facebook.com/DJ Spree and Half Breed. Half Breed and DJ Spree. Hell yeah, man.
I learned a lot. I learned a lot from you on the editing, on video editing. I learned a lot from you, watching you do some of my videos, like when we did like Bounce, or even the Rumble in the Jungle more recently. You know, watching you sit down and how you go through a session, I learned a great deal.
It's almost like mixing a track, except you're visually seeing things, and you can you know, it's very fun to do, you know, and you know, I hope to see you keep at that too, and keep growing with that, you know, because man, possibilities are endless to what we can do. You know, now you're about to launch your new season of Infinity Radio. You want to tell us what's so different about this season? You know, we're on season 3 now. You know, what's going to be different for the ones that don't even, you know, or have been keeping up, you know? Yeah,
if you've been keeping up, you know, I go through seasons. I'll do like a block of episodes, like 10, 12, something. This season will probably be a lot more, but every season always has something way different about it. This new season, season 3, 60. So we're going to take a 360 camera, and, you know, it's going to... Season 2, we brought in video, but there was like 3 or 4 cameras always rolling, and, man, when you're editing an hour-long podcast, it's a lot of cuts, and it's real time-consuming, and just with work, I just couldn't keep up with it. I couldn't get the episodes out as fast as I wanted them to, and I was always, like, falling behind, like, oh, man, we already got to film a new episode, and I ain't even halfway through editing this other one, or whatever. So I figured, hey, we'll just put it on 360. Everybody can see from every angle.
Yeah.
We'll still upload the audio on the SoundCloud, and yeah, that's the main thing. And the episodes are gonna be a little shorter, more to the point. You know, get in, get out.
Yeah. Now, with the podcasting, you know, I know it can be stressful and whatnot, but for the most part, what would you say has been the most enjoyable part about that? You know, besides
Just getting to catch up with people. Like, you know, a lot of the guests are already people I know and hung out with and built relationships with, and I might not get to see them on the regular.
yeah.
So for them to come out, hang out in the studio for a couple hours, have some drinks, and shoot the shit, laugh, you know, that's the best part, I think.
I think my favorite part so far of your podcasting has been the what do we call the game? The Flip It game.
Flip it.
You know, that's how we've had some pretty crazy,
Yeah.
I guess, answers or responses
Yeah,
or whatever. You know, I mean,
Yeah, Ono actually came up with that
Yeah.
game. Like the night before I did the first episode of season 2, I was trying to figure out, we need to play a game. We need to do a drinking game. It's gonna be fun. And Ono just like started saying some shit.
Hey, there ain't nobody in this motherfucker now. Fuck that. That was all a lie. That dude, he's got a torture chamber in there. And he said if we even say anything, he's gonna fucking kill our families. I need somebody to call. Somebody. Call the cops.
Back and forth, like Ninja Turtle, wax, on point, and it
Yeah.
just like that worked.
Yeah, we've had some funny moments. You know, I think everybody that's been on the show has been a victim of either a fucked up kind of combination of words or me personally, I've been affected. You know,
He had a whole episode titled after your fuck up.
Yeah, I had an episode after my fuck up. You know, but you know, it's fun, and I got to meet some new people as well.
Yeah.
People that I haven't met.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
another good
now.
thing too. Is they're getting a network. They
Yeah.
get in front of somebody they've never met before that does stuff. Maybe they can do stuff together.
Yeah. How sometimes I run into people and I'm like, oh yeah, I know you, man. I met you at the studio and whatnot, you know.
Yeah.
One thing about the studio, having your own studio, you've had a lot of people come to the studio.
Yeah.
You know.
Both studios.
Yeah, both studios.
I
Yeah,
mean,
you know, like whenever there's a show, you know, the artist who, you know, you'd end up getting the artist to come, you know, work on some music or whatever the case may be, and
sometimes.
you know, I've got to. I think the one person that I've got to always, you know, run into and meet, you know, and he's in the studio consistently every time he touches down is Rashid. Rashid has always showed love. You know, the area loves him. You know, and I say area because it's not just Odessa. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
Odessa, Forks, all of West Texas loves Rashid. You know.
Yeah, he's got a great following.
You know, he always shows up, and shows out, and puts on a great show all the time. You know.
Yeah.
And every time he's, you know, been here, you know, I've caught him here at the studio with you. Y'all been working on songs and whatnot, and y'all actually dropped a project together. You want to tell us about that project?
28 grams that came out last year. You can still get it on, you know, online iTunes, Google, and all that stuff. But yeah, it's a whole mixtape that me and him did together. Because it was like over the years I've been doing so many songs with him. Every time we come, we do a new song together, and just start like building up. And some of them weren't even getting released. And I was starting to notice like I could probably put out a whole CD with you, and he was down, so we dropped it.
And that's the CD that had Rumble in the Jungle.
Rumble in the Jungle and 28 grams.
And 28 grams.
And you did both those videos.
And I did both of those videos, and the cool thing about that is you guys together though, man, made my work so much easier.
Yeah.
Because you guys had plans, and even for the plans that you guys didn't have, Rashid is you know, just throwing ideas out like crazy, and boom, we roll with them, and man, the video gets done, and it was probably, I want to say it's probably some of the easiest work I've been able to do, because we all came together and contributed to the ideas and even to the editing, down to the editing. I mean, you know, now got 2 dope videos, you know, and it was, for what we made it, for what we used and locations we used and whatnot, we made that shit work like nothing, you know. And just to show you, just you know, use your imagination and use what you got and make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's all it comes down to. It's music. We create, you know.
Yep.
We're creators, and it just so happened now we're able to create a lot more. And
Mm-hmm.
you know,
And there's more on the way.
yeah,
Mhm.
there's a lot more on the way. You know, I'm sitting on some of our stuff. You know, and
Mm-hmm. Me and Spree
and-
got a whole CD almost done already.
y'all dropped Next Gen. Was
Yeah.
the
Well, Next Gen's actually a couple of years now. It's
Yeah.
like 2 or 3 years, something like that.
it's been about 2 or 3
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
and we're doing a follow up to the Next Gen.
Next Gen.
So it's gonna be some new material that's along those Next Gen kind of songs.
Now you want to tell everybody what Next Gen was about?
Next Gen, it was a fun project me and Spree did. That was, you know, like, we love video games, and we just started finding all these dope beats everywhere that, you know, were incorporating different, you know, theme songs or whatever from different games, and we were like, man, let's just kill a whole CD on some video game shit, but not really like talking, like, we're not like doing super nerd just talking about games, like, we're, you know,
Yeah.
still kicking the same rap shit we do, the Texas shit we do,
Yeah.
but, you know, just that feel, that energy from just, it created something new. And we did several videos for that first project, so now we're doing this year a follow-up, which
Yeah.
is, it's not gonna be like Next Gen 2 or nothing, it's like, we're calling it Next Gen 1.5, which is like a remix of a lot of the other songs. We just made them 10 times better, and we're adding a whole bunch of new material in it.
The cool thing about Next Gen, actually, even I think what was it you guys performed at Hip Hop Fest last year? Was it just like the intro?
It was like 2 tracks. It was like
okay,
just
it's
a
2 tracks.
yeah. They were like 2 tracks, and it was like just a little tease, a little sneak peek
Yeah.
of what we had coming.
Yeah, the cool thing about that is like that shit had from what you did perform, that shit had a bunch of fucking energy.
Yeah.
You know, and when y'all are on stage together, it's like two naturals at just what you guys do. You know.
Yeah, we were a good
and,
fit.
and the chemistry's there and everything, and you guys rock it. You got Spree rocking the tables, but still gets up there on stage and rocks the mic right there with you, man.
Right.
You know, that's another thing that's kind of, I think has helped you also, you know, be able to do a little more different things too, because, you know, having that extra, always having someone there in the studio with you to kind of, you know, work on these projects, especially those specific projects.
Yeah.
Kind of like, you know, and not to mention, you know, you both like games, so it's like, you know, you're able to really do exactly what you intended to do with the projects.
Yeah.
You
We
know,
will take our time with it. You know, we won't put nothing out until it's exactly the way we want it, the way we envisioned it in the beginning. You know.
Yeah.
And then beyond the Next Gen stuff, I probably got about 18 unreleased tracks. So I'm sure shortly, like, you know, after the Next Gen, we've gone through that whole phase. Like, I'll probably be dropping another solo here, probably this year, before the year's up for sure.
Okay. Is that going to be is that going to be mixtape? Be an album?
I've got a mix of both. I've got to look at it, figure out. Maybe I'll drop like a little smaller mixtape to kind of hype up the other one. But I got a catalog of songs right now.
Yeah.
I might just take just the best songs and do something
Yeah.
with that. You know, whether it's a mixtape or an album, I've always treated it like it's an album.
Yeah.
You know, Limitless was my biggest selling CD.
Still selling to this day.
Yeah, I'm still
You
selling them. But that's actually a mixtape.
Yeah.
But I treat it looks like an album. You look at the cover, you
Hey,
look
when
at
you
it.
when you dropped it, I thought it was an album.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah,
thought it was
I
an
thought
album.
it was an
People still
album.
think it's
I
an
was like,
album,
hell
but it's not. It's a mixtape. And I just, you know, if I take a mixtape beat, you know, it's a beat some other artist already did, I'll ignore what they did completely and just turn it into my song, you know, like completely. Like, and you would think I made that. That was by me, you know.
Now let me ask you, besides the mixtapes, when can we expect an album?
I need to start getting with producers more, I think. I've also been, you know, shown a few things as far as production. Because, you know, when I was making beats and selling beats to people, you know, years ago, you know, Fruity Loops wasn't really popping off like that. You know, people were still using Tritons and Korgs and keyboards. And I have MC303s and 505s still over there collecting dust, you know, old keyboards and stuff. So, you know, the sounds were, you know, kind of limited, you know, to back then. Because now compared to nowadays with Fruity Loops, you can just create whatever. And I didn't really get on that wave of, you know, being a digital producer. But people like Nick D, Big Hank, producers out here that are, you know, making incredible stuff. And I've gotten some work off them. And they've shown me a few things, you know. I've still got a lot to learn, but I'd like to, you know, it's just finding the time to do it.
Yeah.
But I do want to get back into the beat making game
Yeah.
and start doing that
I
some
mean,
more.
I know I've got to hear some of your stuff, and I've heard some stuff you've produced for some other people, and I mean, man, I mean, all you really need is just the tools, you know. And
Yeah, it's just
it's about rolling, really. You know, I mean, it's not something you're gonna forget how to do. You know.
Yeah.
You know, so that you know, I personally look forward to when you do drop an album. You know, because to me, I feel like even though you've treated your mixtapes like albums, like I still feel like you're gonna take it even further.
I just haven't really connected, I guess, with the producer that's willing to work with me. Like, you know, local producers, they make incredible stuff, and they're charging
Yeah.
pretty damn high prices, anywhere $150 going up to $400 per beat.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of budget.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
like a regular dude like you. We work
Yeah.
9 to
We work and
5s. You
just
know,
do it,
we do our jobs and we spend our paycheck where we can.
Yeah.
So, you know, finding a producer who's willing to like believe in me and want to put a product out with me and just share the creativity with me, I guess is
Yeah.
what you'd say. And, you know, not knock me over the head. Like, I'll do your whole CD for 2 G's. Man,
Yeah.
I got bills to pay, man.
Yeah.
I got 2 G's to throw out right now. And I know a lot of people, other rappers be looking at that comment and be like, well, then what you doing? You need to invest in yourself. And
Yeah.
but I also got to live. And I got
Yeah.
family. I've got, you know, my mother's old. I'm, you know, I have to look out for her. And
I mean, one thing that you know, I mean, reality of things. There are some, you know, some musicians, rappers, whatever, that don't have to worry as much about our family or even just working in general. They just do music full time. You know, we're not blessed to have to be able to do that. We have to work and do what we do, which is I think why we've been at least blessed to have the tools to do what we do. You know, be able to at least acquire those tools so that we don't have to spend so much trying to create these projects. You know.
Yeah. There wouldn't be those 18 tracks I just told you about, or this next gen 1.5 I was talking about. That stuff wouldn't be happening. It'd be nothingness because it was done here in the studio. If I didn't have the studio, where would I have done it? What would have happened? You know, there would have been a lot less Half Breed music, a lot less DJ Spree music, hadn't there been this studio.
Yeah. Well, one thing, you know, I've always enjoyed coming here, you know, and you know, whether I'm kicking the shit or in the booth, you know, I mean, shit. You know, it's always been a good environment, and I mean, look around. I mean, it's, you know, looks like what you would want a studio to look like, you know. You know, and I mean, everything always comes out legit from here, you know. Like I said, you're one of the few that can pull it off and pull out. How long you been knowing Breed?
Alright, I've been knowing Breed probably like a good 4 or 5 years maybe. Probably a little less, something like that, 4 years, 5 years. I mean, my nigga, I heard of him way back in the day when I was first rapping. Like, I started freestyling, rapping, whatever, when I was real young. But I never got myself out there because I was just like, whatever, bullshitting. But I would always hear about Breed. I would see flyers and shit about him. So I already knew he was popping and shit. And I met him, I think, at a show. My nigga started recording me and shit. I dropped like 2 CDs with him. Well, I ain't dropped them. I've been working like on 2 CDs with him already. We about to drop them. That nigga go hard at what he do, you know what I mean? He cold. He cold at what he do.
All right, now we touched on a few projects you're working on. You got Next Gen coming up, 1.5's coming up. For anybody that's looking for happy music or just trying to get in contact with you, see what you're up to, see what you're doing, where can they find you?
The all-around hub is gethalfbreed.com. That's my website, and you can from there you can go to the Infinity Radio Facebook page. You can go to the YouTube channel, which is called Half Breed TV. It's youtube.com/gethalfbreed. But that main website, gethalfbreed.com. That's your source to get to the Twitters, to the Instagrams, to new music. I put exclusive stuff on the .com. Yeah, that's just the main spot I want everybody to go to.
Already. You know, and on that note, you got any last words you want to say before we cut this off?
R.I.P. Booster.
Yeah, R.I.P. Booster, man.
Yeah, we just lost a legend out here, you know what I'm saying? He's going to go down in the books, you know. He affected a lot of people, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people respected him, and, you know, he pioneered a lot of big moves out here, and, you know, we just barely lost him like a week ago, so, you know, it's still weighing heavy on everybody. The funeral's like in the day after tomorrow, so.
Yeah.
I just want to, send my condolences out to all the respect is due, all the Bustamante family. God's love with y'all.
And on that, thank you for tuning in to Behind the Mic, episode number 10. This concludes season 1. Be on the lookout for that Infinity Radio, or Infinity
Radio.
Infinity Radio 360.
Yeah, season 360.
Season 3.
Shoot, Half-Breed, I remember when I first started, man, actually I knew him through my homeboy Pinky, Free Pinky. He knows Pinky anywhere. I met him a long time ago. I didn't even know who he was at first, but Pinky told me that dude rapped. I was younger. And later, when I first heard it, he's the one that kind of exposed me to all that, like the first hip hop fest that they had here. And that's when I started seeing everybody, and that's when I first started jumping in. So that I remember the episodes of Infinity Radio. They had, man, that shit was dope. I miss that shit. That shit kept me updated and shit. Well, to all the latest shows and all kinds of shit, man. But
Any favorite moments from Infinity Radio? Because you've been on a couple episodes.
oh, I was, huh?
Yeah, you've been on a couple.
Yeah, shit. My favorite one was the first one that we did. When me and Nono, we fucking just busted out laughing at the very beginning of the first episode. That shit right there just did it for me. That shit was just like, that shit that shit had me roll. That's how much fun we were having, just chilling and shit,
What kind of impact you think Breed's had on the scene?
Like I said, he opened my eyes, and where I'm at right now, like he opened it to more opportunity. Like I started knowing people and everything, like that I didn't really fuck with a lot. You know what I'm saying? But shit, that's what I want to start jumping in. I'm like, oh shit, man, this is the local rap game.
All right, now go ahead and plug yourself. Like anything you got coming ahead, man. Is it, like just be like, yo, it's Scat, and say your alias, whatever you want to plug yourself, and then just say, hey, you can find me here, or I got this CD coming up pretty soon, or whatever, anything like that. Just plug yourself real quick.
Shit, I'm still working out dates on some shit, but me and Crook got a mixtape coming out. Looking out for that shit. I'm gonna drop a mixtape like water. I don't got a date yet, but it's gonna probably be in the summer. And then I'm working on the album slowly but surely, probably at the end of the year or at the beginning of next year. That shit's gonna be sick. That's where Gang's on, but yeah. Well, I forgot. I didn't even remember. See, I'm fucking so blind. But like way before that, the first time I ever been into a booth, it was at that shop on University. What the fuck was it called?
Urban Lifestyles.
Urban Lifestyles. This was a long time ago. I fucked with my other homeboys. Like I said, I never fucked with the rap game, but I fucked with some other homeboys on some other shit. And he put me in, my homeboy END, shout out END. And I remember I went to the booth there and he recorded me there. It was my first time ever recording in a studio. And I just barely remembered that right now.
Peace.
Oh no.
It's your boy, oh no. One and only. Odessa, Texas representative. Breed. Crazy guy. A lot of things going on in that room over there. Can't speak of, but whatever. I've known that fool for a long time now. He's a good dude. He's been in the music scene around here for a long time. I know that. See, I met that fool. He was working with some dude named Iceberg or some shit like that. Right? I think that's what it was. Anyways, that fool was a big douchebag back in the day. I don't know if he is now. I don't know him. I'm not hating. But I hate him. They were doing shows and shit back in the day, bringing Paul Wall down. They was doing really big things. And me and my homeboy Eli was trying to start up our little group, Most Often Rewound. Shout out to Old School. So of course, we did what any MCs would do, trying to establish. We started taking shots at them fools and whatever, little diss tracks or whatnot. But that was way back in the day, and here we are, some 10 to 12 years down the road, and that's one of the best homeboys that I, got in the music game around here. Dude's, he's a pretty solid dude, for an asshole. Does what he does, his thing, Definitely a genius in that room right over there. A lot of magic goes on in there. I mean, I'm not part of it, but whatever.
I mean, I'm not gonna get into that. Son of a bitch. But whatever. Oh no, one and only. Y'all be on the lookout for that motherfucking BOS. Brothers of Solitude, Mike Murder, oh no. Got that Nick D out there, don't want to die in this small town. Shout out Booster, been high, respect is due. RIP, baby. Got that GOD fixing to come real quick, so y'all be on the lookout. Shameless promotion 2018. Peace.